More now on our top story. The death of George Floyd, a black man in police custody in Minneapolis, has Catholic activists up in arms, with many saying it exposes a blind spot on racism. Christopher White, national correspondent for The Tablet and Crux, joins us now to talk more about this. And Chris, Archbishop Hebda, who we mentioned earlier, along with other bishops, are calling for an investigation into the death of George Floyd. But some black Catholics are saying it's not enough. What's their message?
I spoke with a number of black Catholic advocates yesterday, and they said, look, we're grateful that the bishops are calling for an investigation, but we want to see the same level of outrage and really disgust at this as we see the bishops bring when they talk about the horrors of abortion or the death penalty or any other issue along the range of life issues that Catholic bishops often talk about. They want to see the issue of racism put front and center as equally important to them as these hosts of other issues.
In particular, you've spoken to some advocates who want to see more said about police brutality in general. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so one of the voices I spoke to was Gloria Purvis, who runs a talk show with EWTN. And she talked about, often in these situations where we see black men and women as victims of police brutality, there tends to be a reflex to sort of put the impulse of guilt on the victim and to sort of justify what may have caused the situation. And for her, she says this is a double standard and really just another reason why she thinks there's a blind spot there in how most U.S. Catholics treat the issue of race.
2 years ago, the U.S. bishops released their first major collective statement on racism in nearly 40 years. What's been the response to that?
Yeah, this was an important document. The bishops had worked on this for a number of years, and it came out at a time in which most bishops were frankly occupied with dealing with the latest wave of clergy abuse scandals. And because of that, most black Catholics just say the document hasn't had a chance to be received. Most parishes and dioceses across the country have not instituted new programs. And the Diocese of Brooklyn has actually been a rare exception of having listening sessions and other types of programs. But again, most bishops have said, regretfully, they just haven't had the time and attention. And for these black Catholics, they say that's all the more reason why now is the time to get involved.
Right. All right. Christopher White, national correspondent for The Tablet and Crux. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Christine.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.